So the summer is always traditionally a time of not a whole lot of video game releases. I mean, there are some. June and July this year, we saw some games worth playing, but overall 2018 is not really an exception to the tradition of the summer being quiet for releases. And that's kind of just gaming news in general. The whole industry seems to be a little quiet after E3, but of course 2018's fall is going to be packed. We're getting stuff like Call of Duty Black Ops 4 and Battlefield 5, Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and so much more. So what about August, the final month of summer?
Yeah, what about it?
Is there anything worth checking out? Is there any reason to go to Amazon or GameStop and pick up something new for your console or PC? I think there actually are, at least 10 of them. So my name is Ryan Ramakrishnan, and I'd like to bring to you today 10 of the most exciting game releases to come out in August of 2018. Here we go. Coming in at number 10 is WarioWare Gold. Coming to Nintendo 3DS, this collection of minigames or micro games is really cool because there's just so many games to play in there. So WarioWare is a franchise that a lot of people enjoy. They're just fun little games to pick up and play with your friends and whatnot. And this is like a true collection of so many games in there. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun for people to just play with their friends. And it's a reason to pick up a 3DS again. A lot of people, myself included, don't even want to play the 3DS now that the Switch is a thing. But if there's a reason to play some fun stuff like that and just have a good time with something light and both classic and brand new games in the whole WarioWare style, I think that's really good. So that is number 10, WarioWare Gold.
There are remote corners of the British Empire where the shadows linger at their deepest.
Taking the 9th place on this list is a game called Strange Brigade. So Strange Brigade is different. It's like got a really cool ancient Egyptian kind of setting and style and vibe going on. And it's a co-op game. It's full of action and it's a shooter. So I think that co-op shooters, while certainly not for me, it's just not my taste. I don't play stuff like Left 4 Dead or whatever, but that is a game that has kind of been compared to in terms of gameplay. And I know a lot of people really dig that. So I think that Strange Brigade is really cool. It looks kind of unique. There's not a whole lot of games with that whole aesthetic like it. And it seems really interesting and kind of campy, but in the most like delightful and fun manner. So I actually believe that Strange Brigade is probably going to be a joy to play with some friends. Coming in at number 8 is Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. So this Monster Hunter game is perfect for fans of the series who of course know it for being a Nintendo franchise. Of course Monster Hunter World came out in January and it was epic and huge and it blew up, but it's not on the Switch. Truthfully, the Nintendo Switch cannot handle such a game, I suppose, but Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate looks to bring an almost equal experience, but like truly an epic experience nonetheless. So this version of Monster Hunter Generations comes from the 3DS, but it's HD and improved, and there's just so much things to do, so many hours of content and monsters to hunt and a lot of fun to be had, and it seems like a really great action RPG to sink some time into in August. And it's coming to the Nintendo Switch, so it's a perfect platform for that. So that is Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. Number 7 on this list is Okami HD, but it's for the Nintendo Switch. So as you may already know, this game already hit store shelves on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One a little while back. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's been around. And this is a classic from PS2 and Wii. Beautiful, beautiful art style and just the incorporation of art in the game. And it sort of looks like it plays like Zelda a little bit. It's like this action-adventure game with some puzzles and really interesting things going on and just such a cool design. I think that Okami looks like a game I'd absolutely adore, yet unfortunately I've yet to play it. So I think that I'm going to pick it up on my Switch because it looks like it's only, I think, $20 if I'm not mistaken. So that's really cheap and it's perfect to pick up on my Switch and play. And Okami is a very critically acclaimed and just beloved game. So that is an awesome thing for the Nintendo Switch to get. And I'm surprised it took this long. So Okami HD for the Switch, coming out in August. Taking number 6 on this list is Overcooked II.
I heard your voice, such a melody for two.
It's the sequel to one of the most popular and beloved games on the Switch and other platforms as well. But this indie delight is a perfect game to get get together with a few friends at a party and just have a good time. It is competitive, it's hyperactive, it's fun, it's charming, and it's really awesome overall. So I don't really have any experience with Overcooked myself, but I know it is quite adored, and the sequel seems to be bringing more of the same, but also like more, and any more Overcooked, to my understanding, is a really good thing. So Overcooked 2, perfect time to come out. It's not going to be released alongside heavy hitters on the Switch, but just more light indies. But this game is going to blow up for sure. It's going to be #1 on the eShop. I have no doubt in my mind. So Overcooked 2, coming particularly to the Nintendo Switch in August. And the halfway point of this list is We Happy Few.
But halfway there.
It's not a lovely day for it. It's a fucking terrible day for it.
So this game's been in early access for some time. In fact, I was mistaken to believe that it already had been released, like at least a couple of years ago. It's been talked about a lot. I've seen it on early access and whatnot, but finally, We Happy Few is actually coming out. And I think this game looks really cool. So the interesting story is the developer was actually acquired by Microsoft. Of course, if you saw Microsoft's E3 briefing, they said they acquired them.
Compulsion Games. 2 years ago, we premiered a game we couldn't get out of our heads.
But this game is also coming to PS4, and I think that We Happy Few looks really interesting. The gameplay almost has like this Bioshock look to it, but it's the whole story and the concepts behind the narrative that really get me. You totally have to look it up to really get what's going on there, and I think the world of We Happy Few is going to be an amazing one to explore, so that's something definitely worth checking out in August. #4 on my list is Yakuza Kiwami 2. Now, Yakuza Kiwami is actually a remake of the original Yakuza game, and Kiwami 2 is, as you'd expect, a remake of Yakuza 2. And I think that's really good because this series is finally getting its feet wet and comfortable over here. You know, it used to be a franchise that Americans didn't really know. It was always very popular overseas in Japan, but finally, people are getting their hands on it. They love 6, The Song of Life, which came out earlier this year. Yakuza 0 and Kiwami, I think both came out last year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but those games were liked. So a lot of people are really enjoying this series. I've heard great things about it, and I have every intention on finally getting to it. And I think that Kiwami 2 is perfect. It's a great game to make a remake of because you already remade the predecessor. So people are finally gonna get their hands on it and not have to go bring it to PS2 or PS3 or import from Japan. So that's awesome that Yakuza Kiwami 2 is a thing. So there you go. Coming in at #3 is Shenmue, but also Shenmue 2. Now, I might be cheating a little bit, but here's the thing. They're both coming out at the same time, and you know, it's Shenmue and Shenmue 2. You kind of want to play both of them. And also, they're really old games, so whatever. I'm not cheating, okay? So, Shenmue and Shenmue 2. Classic games. Everyone loves them. They sort of invented QuickTime events. They have really cool and interesting narratives to tell and execute, and a lot of people really appreciated them when they were a thing back in the day. I believe it was late 90s, early 2000s maybe, but I, of course, never played it. In fact, I wasn't playing video games, or I was barely even born back then. So, Shenmue and Shenmue 2. I actually think I'm going to pick them up, because Shenmue 3 is on the way. I don't know when I'm going to get it. It might be another couple of years, of course, but they seem really cool and compelling, and I think that this is perfect because younger gamers and a new age of gamers are finally going to get their hands on some of the most beloved classics in action and adventure games. So that's perfect. So Shenmue and Shenmue 2 finally making their way over to current gen consoles.
It's about time.
#2 on this list is Dead Cells, a game that I think looks absolutely awesome. Probably something I'd love to play on my Switch. So this game is a roguelite Metroidvania action platformer. You know, you can throw out a lot of terminology like that, but it's that kind of game. You get the gist of it. Totally worth checking out the trailer for because I think it just looks so cool. It's got this really interesting style and looks like a blast to play. I'm watching it and I'm just thinking like every second of the trailer that this is something I want to play. And of course, like I mentioned, I think it's just kind of a perfect game for the Switch, but I play it on anything. But yeah, Dead Cells looks super cool. I know that it has been talked about and it's been around a little bit, so finally it's coming out and I'm really excited for it actually, and I think you guys really need to be as well.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
And taking the top spot on our list is the final season to The Walking Dead. Telltale's amazing adventure series is finally closing, and I think it's bittersweet.
You shouldn't scream. Ever. Screaming brings monsters.
I really, really love Telltale's adventure games, particularly that of The Walking Dead. I played the first one and I just fell in love. Lee and Clementine were some of the most interesting and dynamic characters. And then the sequel came along, and it was even more interesting to follow Clementine and her dynamic storyline. And then she continued in The New Frontier. I think that she's such an amazing character. Telltale does such a fantastic job at executing her story and everyone around them. The world building is fantastic. So, of course, I'm extremely excited for Telltale's The Walking Dead, the final season, and rightfully so. I think that it's going to be really good. Actually, at the time of recording, a new trailer's been released and stuff. It's got me even more hyped. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just stoked to experience the final parts of this amazing story that's been around since 2012. More power to Telltale for just doing such a phenomenal job with the Walking Dead license. That is number one on this list. My most anticipated game for August of 2018 is The Walking Dead, the final season.
What do you do if I get bit?
Alright guys, that is it for this list. Those are 10 of the games that I'm the most excited for that are coming out next month in August of 2018. Let me know in the comments below which ones you think look the best. And hey, if you like this video, leave me a thumbs up and subscribe. I post videos about video games and just gaming stuff in general as often as I can. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.